Welcome to the Jimmy Palumbo Show. That's right. Show number 141. Show number 1, Judah Ben-Hur, number 41. Anybody gets that joke, I'll give you $5. Show 141 here at Shea. My name is Jimmy Palumbo, coming to you live from downtown Mahwah, New Jersey, in the pretty nice dining room studios. And, of course, behind the glass, once again, your friend and mine, media champ of the world from Chop Sports Studios from downtown Mattawan. From the Chop Sports Studios, your friend and mine, Mr. Dave Sturchio. Dave, how we doing today?
I was good, man. Had a nice little Thanksgiving weekend. Watched my Cowboys kick the shit out of the Commanders, and then
yes, you did.
Great weekend ahead of football. It's funny. I thought for sure I was going into Sunday without a game and saying stress-free Sunday. This is great. I think I got angrier yesterday watching the Eagles game than I do when I watch the Cowboys games. Fuckers don't lose. It's
unbelievable. I know. I'm with you. And we'll definitely tap on that later on in our little segment there. But you are right about that. Eagles never lose.
Unreal.
Just like the Braves never suck in baseball. Anyway, of course, we're gonna have Steve Roman on later on in our show with A Moment with Steve. Every week I'm gonna change it. What is it now?
I called it Roman's Rundown. I think it's better.
Okay, well, I tell you what, you do that, and I'm going to call it A Moment with Steve. I'm sorry. You know what's so funny, Dave? I'm so wrong. I thought it was my show because when I realized the show said the Jimmy Palumbo Show, I thought, maybe it means it's my show. But
sorry, pal.
It doesn't work that way. Cowboys are good. I lose my show. It's going to be the Dave Sturchio Show with Jimmy Palumbo and Steve Roman. And about a year from now, it'll be Dave Sturchio Show with Steve Roman and Jimmy Palumbo stops in. Anyway, of course, we do here the opening segment, or at least I do a little prep work. Dave just grabs a card off the desk and starts talking about it.
I agree.
Now, last week I got a bunch of texts on this one. Everybody thinks, if you think Dave and I discuss this opening segment, number one, Dave spends about 40 seconds on it, okay? He grabs a card and he grabs Carney Lansford, probably thinking in his head, Jimmy probably going to know this guy because back in my era, I was watching, baseball as a kid. And I just happened to grab off the top of this stack of cards over here. I look at it and he chose Carney Lansford and I chose Carney Lansford. We had a friend of mine kind of got me Carney Lansford's number. I definitely got to call him up. See if we can get him on.
Is that a thing? You have his number now?
My buddy James Canowitz figured out a way. I don't know. I didn't call it because I was like, I don't know. Like, what am I going to say? Hey, Carney Lansford, it's Jimmy Palumbo. Listen, I do a show with Dave Sturchio, and we both chose you.
I tagged him on Instagram, so
maybe. I mean, listen, it's just. Was it Larry? Who said Larry Gura sent me the $2 the card for his signature on it? Whoever was that, Larry Gura? Yeah, I forget who the hell it was. Anyway, of course, we choose a card here. Now, I'm going against myself here. This is like totally not anybody tuning in for the first time. This is not what we do in terms of the card because this is a guy. It's supposed to be someone semi-shitty. It makes it funnier. Or a guy that, what's unique about him? There's nothing unique about this guy. Probably top 30 players of all time, maybe. I don't know. Of all time, maybe top 50. I don't, you know what? I should have said that. This guy's a badass. And it's 1992 card, and it is Mr. George Brett. Okay. Yeah. He just happens to be on top now. I hated George Brett as a kid. Why? He was on the Royals. The Yankees played them in the series, the playoffs, 76, 77, 78, and 80. Beat him 3 times, lost in 1980. But this guy, you just forget, I know baseball stats change. First of all, lifetime batting average, 305, played 21 years, 3,100 hits, 317 home runs, over 10,000 at bats. So this guy he didn't get hurt for 4 years like these other.
A fun fact about George Brett is that I believe he was in the same Hall of Fame class as Nolan Ryan.
I'm not sure on that, but it was 1999, so it's possible.
The only reason why I know that is because I went to Cooperstown in 1999 for Nolan Ryan's induction.
And you were at there?
I was at it. So my best friend, John, passed away. His father, huge Nolan Ryan guy. So I'm talking almost obsessive. And he had his cards and his starting lineups and all this. He's like, we got to go to Cooperstown. So he took me and his son. And I believe George Brett was also inducted.
Oh, that's great. There you go. A little connection there, of course. The weird thing is, what I love about this is he played all 21 years with the Royals, so he's like Mr. Royal. He even tried to buy the Royals a few times.
Now Patrick Mahomes owns them.
Now Patrick, no one cares about George Brett. It's all about Mahomes. But listen, just incredible. I mean, look, the one in 1980, okay, he batted .390, but he was over 400 on September 19th. That's badass. You know what I mean? That's 2.5 weeks away from the, Joe D. And he only struck out 22 times. Now, 22 strikeouts in a season, that's Stanton in a big 4-game series at Cleveland. Okay.
You're not wrong.
That's unbelievable on that. Even in his last year at 40 years old, he looked like an aging George Brett. He batted .266. Like, can you imagine if Stanton plays to his 40, he'll bat .08. You know what I mean? I mean, he was also a Yankee killer. Now, someone told me that there's websites you can go in because everybody thinks they know who a Yankee killer is. You know that theory, like, oh, he's a Yankee killer. Then someone said there's a website where you can actually see how much of a Yankee killer each guy was. I don't give a shit. This guy,
100% stat muse. You can do it like you can narrow it down to like George Brett against left-handed relief pitchers in the Bronx on a Thursday. Like
all I know is George Brett owned the Yankees, and I did a little in my research. He had in the playoffs, okay, he had 67 at bats in the playoffs. Now 5-game series, okay. He was from 1976 to 1980, 4 playoff series in there. He was 24 for 67, so he batted .350 against the Yankees in the playoffs, which that's unbelievable.
Not shabby.
And he made the his batting average in all of playoffs, and they won it in 85 with the Royals, was .337. So, like, nobody's saying, like, who's a clutch hitter? George Brett is?
Right.
I'm sure, like, Jeter was really clutch. He probably batted .270 in the playoffs, right? 1999 Hall of Fame with Nolan Ryan, and Dave Sturchio is there. You know what the best thing about him, though? One of the best things about it, when you go on these websites, you go to the transaction pages. Some of the players I choose on this, the transaction page is like 7 pages long. Traded by him, picked up here, free agent. His just says, drafted by the Kansas City Royals in 1971. Done. Like, how cool is that? If you're a player, you're in the Hall of Fame, it's like, oh, my transactions, one transaction.
You don't see that a lot. You don't see that a lot anymore. But one that comes to mind is somebody you just mentioned is Derek Jeter. You're like,
right. Jeter's the only. In fact, Jeter might. I don't know. Mariano Jeter. Pretty wild stuff there. You had 3. Here's another. He's the youngest of 4. All 3 brothers also played professional baseball. Ken Brett, his older brother, he was a pitcher. Died of brain cancer at 55. He pitched in the major leagues for a while, pitched in a World Series game. And the other 2 brothers played a bunch of years in the minor leagues. So think about that. You have 4 kids. All 4 make a living at one point playing baseball.
It's like
That's
the watch.
incredible.
It's like the watch in football.
Right. Somebody also, his brother Ken was part of that. I don't know, well before your time. There was a period there where like 4 or 5 Royals died of brain cancer. Dick Hauser, former coach of the Yankees, I think Dan Quisenberry, Ken Brett, and a couple other guys. Pretty wild. Whenever you get those clusters, you got to go like, drinking water. It's like that Colonia thing with the brain cancer. But in 1977, for Yankee fans, he's the one. He slid into Greg Nettles at third of the playoff game. There was fisticuffs going on. Nettles totally kicked him. I don't care what anybody says. They had a big brawl.
I mean,
Nettles,
the Pine Tar.
Well, we didn't get there yet. Now,
you got a whole autobiography on this guy.
Well, just a little bit. Now, of course, in 1980, with the World Series, the year they won he was in the World Series. He missed like game 3 because of hemorrhoids. Literally got surgery on his asshole to fix the hemorrhoids. And then he came back. He was like 4 for 5 in the game. Can you imagine that? Like,
yeah, if he had the cornhole leveler, he'd be fine.
Well, listen, it's now going to be called the George Brett CornholeLevel.com, which we'll get to in a minute. He's also before I get to what he's really famous for, he also is famous for kind of credited with the Mendoza line, saying that he was one of the early guys he had a teammate, Mario Mendoza, and if you bat under 200, they called the Mendoza line. Sadly, though, the Mendoza line to me is like, it's called the make about $17 million a year line now. Anybody batting 180 can easily play in the major leagues this year. Stanton, Gallo, those kind of guys. I couldn't stand the bastard. But what he's also famous for, of course, in 1983, the Pine Tar game. All the players used to glob on Pine Tar up and down the bat, but you couldn't put it past almost by the label on the Louisville Slugger label, and it had to be like about the size of the plate. That's the famous scene of the umpire dropping it on the plate. And supposedly either Greg Nettles or somebody noticed it in the second inning. Just old school baseball players like, guys got too much Pine Tar. Because if it's at the end of the bat, it catches if you think about it, it really changes the way you hit the ball. Plus, when you hit the ball on a ground ball, you can have Pine Tar on it for a throw. There's all kinds of stupid, non-steroid baseball bullshit. But of course, off Gossage, he hit a 3-run bomb in the 9th inning, and then Billy Martin went out, and had the umpires, and then all mayhem broke loose. George Brett charged the field, and they went nuts.
I'm wondering, has he ever run? All right, so riddle me this: is his speed running around the bases as fast as he ran out of that dugout?
Well, he looked like Mickey Rivers trying to get to the ump. I will tell you,
fucking nuts.
He supposedly, when they were discussing it at home plate, he told us the guy sitting next to him, if I get ruled out, I'm charging, I'm going. And they were like, yeah. All of a sudden, boom, he took off. But what people don't remember is the Yankees the game got retroactive and back to that inning. I forget what they did, but they had to play that one inning before another game, and Billy Martin made a mockery of it. Like pitchers were playing short, and like they really just made a mockery of the whole thing. But so that's what it's a shame that people like, I guess one of the reasons why I don't mind doing his card is it's a shame if people like, George Brett, the famous Pine Tar run on the field, but like, and one year he only struck out 22 times this season, and he's in the Hall of Fame with 98.2% of the vote, which means I think there's only like Jeter. I think there's like nobody, or Mariano. I think
Rivera.
But like Ruth, Gehrig, DiMaggio, all far below.
Well, if you remember, Jeter didn't get 100% because there was a Boston Red Sox writer who wouldn't do it. So why he could have lost his credentials at the time.
I probably did. So anyway, that's my guy, a young George Brett in his last year here at Shea. On the back of his card, nothing funny. I got all these Stadium Club cards, which I hate. And he's from Rancho Mirage. That's where he lives. And he's born in West Virginia. Young George Brett, who got his asshole fixed during the World Series. And who do you have over there at Shea?
Well, let me tell you something. I'm a big pro wrestling guy, so this is just nostalgic as far as just name. That's it, name.
Okay.
You probably don't have a clue as to who this guy is. He played catcher for the Angels for just 2 years, in 1989 and 1990. Played in the minors for 4 years before that. Your friend and mine, with the return of one Randy Orton at WWE Survivor Series, I present to you his cousin. I'm just kidding. I don't know if it's his cousin, John Orton.
I do not know who John Orton is. Wow. I don't remember.
You know what the best part about this card is?
What a shitty card that is, too.
Right.
It's like a bad.
The back sucks, too. It's just not.
What did he do? Did you look at what it's like?
Nothing. But what I want to say is,
nothing. That's a 2-cent card.
On card day, right? Like, I'm sorry, on like photo day, it's like, just imagine being the photographer. Like, all right, can I get one still shot of you in your batting pose? This one's like, can you just squat and smile off into the distance like you're just, I don't know, man. It's just a weird dynamic. Anyway, the guy, had himself a illustrious 187 career batting average. So he'd be making about $9 million this year. Something like that. The cool thing about John Orton, besides nothing, is that he batted .429 in spring training in '89. So they were like, we got.
We would have been all.
Reggie behind the plate.
Okay, wait a minute. If a guy in the Yankees batted .489 in the preseason, you and I would be all over this. He's going to start. He's the best player ever.
Orton only had 2 errors in 78 games behind the plate, just 2. So
decent glove.
Batted 3 for 3, including a 3-run double in his second major league game ever. Orton caught shutouts in his first 2 Major League starts, which is kind of cool.
That's very cool.
California's team ERA was 2.21 in his 13 starting assignments. So 13 games in 2 years. But this stud right here, Mr. John Orton, is my guy.
All right, so we have George Brett and John Orton here at Shea in our baseball card drama, which I love doing, which, of course, brings us to, I don't even know why we're doing this segment anymore. It's called Patreon. And if you go to patreon.com, patreon.com, Dorothy Stradler, big shout out. And also Dying Breed Garage. Will Pena, another shout out. He hated George Brett too.
Yeah, there's
Look at that. Look at the technology here, Shay.
sometimes I produce.
Well, it's a shout out to Dorothy Stadler coming on here, saying hello to us. Yeah, Patreon. We're stuck at 36. We're mired. We, you know what? Is my Patreon out for the season, or is it like what is it?
I
Torn ACL?
I heard rumors there's contract disputes, and Patreon doesn't know if it wants to re-up with Jimmy Palumbo.
Okay, we don't really know. Listen. There's got to be someone out there who's willing to part with $3 a month, which is crazy. I want to give a shout out.
I thought I had a friend to do it, and
It's tough. You gotta stop. You gotta. Maybe I'll go door to door like the that religious group does.
Can you please do it? Like,
please.
Can you create a Christmas carol and just start showing up to people's doors? Patreon.
We wish you a Merry Patreon. We wish you a Merry Patreon. It's only $3 because I'm stuck at 36. It pays for Beer League and Dave Sturchio's career. We need more Patreon because Jimmy Palumbo sucks. All right. Well, listen, big shout out, though, on my Patreon to Joe Cinecor. I met Joe yesterday after church, and Joe actually might become. I know Robin Achani loves when I sing Christmas carols. I more on that later. You'll see. But Joe Cinecor is involved with this organization. It's actually a serious subject. He's involved with like the kidney transplants, where it's almost. I'm explaining this horribly, but in a humorous way on a serious subject. It's almost like fantasy kidney in other words, say your kid needs a kidney, but you don't match, but another kid needs a kidney that you match. So you give your kidney to some family in St. Louis, and the guy in St. Louis gives a kidney to your family. It's like this.
And a kidney to be named later.
And a kidney to be named later. You know what I mean? So anyway, it sounds old, but it's really a wild organization. I mean, here it is. Paired Kidney Exchange. Joe Cinecor hopping in. Joe, I love you. And I'm actually gonna have Joe on next week or the week after and talk about what his organization does. It's awesome. I mean, if you're screwed and you need a kidney, he's able to. What if you would do anything for your kid, right? What if you just didn't match? And all of a sudden, some jerk off in Iowa is like, "Hey, I got one," and next thing you know, you got to make the trade. You know what I mean?
Like dating for kidneys. I know. Can you imagine being on an app right now and you're one of those swipers, thing. It's like a kidney. No, it looks like it's been through the ringer.
I know, he fits it up, right? You know what? You know what would be great too? I'm sure Kyle will totally want to bet like on Jimmy Palumbo needs a kidney, but let's hold on to the over and under on him getting one. But
listen, God told my Uncle Tom, and I don't want to say my favorite uncle, but he was the greatest dude in the world. He's actually taken me to Cooperstown as a kid, not Cooperstown. He took me to the Little League World Series. That was fun.
Wow.
It was Frazier's year, so it was even more fun. So, but anyway, he needed a kidney before he unfortunately passed. But I wish this was around, or I knew about this because he put a decal on his car. Like that's how much it was like a struggle.
Yeah, I know.
If you're this type, man, give me a call. Like I need a fucking kidney. It's like it's insane.
It's wild. So we're gonna have him on, but it's a shout. Also to Greg Alperin, one of the partners with Beer League TV. I haven't talked to you in a while, Greg. You got to give me a shout, boy. I love you. Also, my cousin John. I figured, my cousin John Henry. He went to, he's the same age as me. We're very close, and I haven't really given him a shout out in a while. He probably doesn't even listen to the show. But he's a Penn State guy. 10-2. He's miserable because they lost to Ohio State and Michigan.
I got a friend request over the weekend. Facebook. Now, I do want to preface this by saying, I don't add everybody on Facebook. Facebook to me is my intimate. My kids are on there. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to add everybody. So
that's smart.
My apologies for not adding everybody. But there was a gentleman by the name of Steve Venditti sent me a friend request. Get the fuck out of here. Like, I haven't seen that.
I talk to Steve all the time. He listens to the show like 6 months later with different things. He wrote like Carney Lansford. He lost his mind on that one.
Yeah. So
Steve's part of the show because it's Venditti just drove off the road. That's how I'm talking about something that only 3 people in the world are get. So anyway, that's it. Patreon. Now.
So I didn't accept it, by the way. No, I'm kidding.
Of course you didn't. Of course, if you go to chasingmiracles.com, that's right. The stem cell patch is getting involved here. all the shit your body needs off these patches. I'm wearing them right now. My mom wears them. Her friends wears them. This stuff it's energy, better sleep. It's non-invasive. You can pee in the cup. This stuff works. I will tell you a little testimony. So my mother uses these patches, and her knee feels better. But when she went away for 4 days to Austin, Texas for a wedding, my nephew's wedding, she couldn't find it. She lost the patches, didn't bring them, whatever. She didn't wear them for 4 days. She said when she got home, her knees were killing her. Her back, her knees, everything, right? So she's telling me this. I'm like, all right. She goes, Jimmy, I put the patches on. A day and a half later, my mother was, looked like George Brett in the Pine Tar game. So I'm like, this stuff works. You got to check it out. Go to chasingmiracles.com. Get in touch with Donna and Tommy. I should probably give a phone number out, but maybe I shouldn't do that.
It's funny. The one video you sent me of your dad and your uncle, the baseball video from 35. I wish he was around simply for the purpose of these reads.
Forget about it.
You put on back your ankle, you're good. It's fine. It's all good. You're good.
If my father was around right now, me with this podcast, I'd have him on every week. He would be confused. Jimmy, what time are you going on? I got to be ready for your podcast. And then he would like forget it would be great. I mean, he would just he would have no idea what we're doing. And then he'd be at Food Town on Inman Avenue running around going, I'm doing radio with my son. My son's in the theater. He used to say that to me. My son's in the theater. I'm on television. I'm not in the theater. Anyway, chasingmiracles.com. It's awesome. Check it out. Big shout out to my mom as well. Hope she's feeling better with her knees. All right. Well, Rutgers McScarlet McKnights. Now, I have to say a couple of things. I didn't tell this story last week. I can't believe I forgot it. My buddy Mark Margagliata, who's a fan, who's not on Patreon, by the way. That's shameful.
Bastard.
He put my sink in. He worked for Ferguson. Giving him a little shout out there. Here's what happened last week. I don't think I told the story last week. If I did, then I'm old. I don't know if I'm going to make this as funny. I'm trying to put it. Say this happened to you, Dave, and it was a Cowboy game. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I always DVR the game I'm watching in case I got to go to the bathroom. You hit pause and you catch up. You do that kind of thing. And so my buddy Mark was coming over. I knew he was going to be about 15, 20 minutes late. It's all right. And I'm like a master at getting the 30-second button in between plays. I'm good at all that, right? Catching up, doing the commercials, blah, blah, blah. So we were about 15 minutes behind. OBDO came over, cracked open a beer, poured myself a Bloody Mary, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, the DVR wasn't working. Now, I knew I was like, in my head, I'm like, all right, so we missed 15 minutes of the Rutgers Penn State game, no big deal. By the time I got it going, it went by accident to the actual live, live. It was just live. And as Rutgers was setting up for an opening drive, 38-yard field goal to take the lead against Penn State, right? So he kicks it before he realized what was going on. He kicks it. And we're like, we're high-fiving. We're high-fiving each other. Like, yeah, up 3-0 against Penn State, opening drive, feeling good about ourselves. Not realizing that the Penn State guys were also clapping as they ran off the field. I didn't catch that, okay? So all of a sudden, I was like, I got to fix this DVR thing. I go back. I reset it. I go back. Next thing you know, it's back to the very beginning of the telecast. And I'm like, hey, we'll catch up. We'll see what happened, how they drove for this field goal. Next thing you know, Rutgers is at the 1-yard line. First down at the 1-yard line. We were like, what? All of a sudden, holding, personal foul, holding, banned Rutgers team, offside. Guys kicking a 45-yard field goal. So we went from being happy that they were up 3-0 to be like, shit, should have been 7-0. So I don't know if anybody can relate to that. It was just, even when I watch a Rutgers game on DVR, I get aggravated by technology. Piss me off.
I don't watch. First of all, you're like, in case I gotta go to the bathroom. No, I don't. I hold it until there's
you also probably don't have with the technology. You'll see. First of all, this is gonna lead to. I got to go to my kids' game. Cowboy game's at 1:00. I'll be home by 1:08. I can miss the first 8 minutes and catch up. I'll be over and under. Kyle, everybody's taking bets on that one.
That's fine. Take the bets.
Anyway, yeah, you'll see. Yeah. Daddy, give me flowers to the dance competition. From 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Can't leave till everyone gets their awards here at Shea. Anyway.
What time did you go on? Oh, it looks like she's listed as 82nd. So. What?
You'll be on you'll have all on your phone. You'll be wired up. You'll be clapping for your daughter, and you'll be listening to the game. It's
I'm going to have to ask you some real life advice before this end of the show, and I'll just remind me.
Okay.
You won't, but I'll remember.
All right. No, of course I won't. But so shout out to my buddy Mark Aguilera for laughing with me on a DVR. Now the Maryland game, I had a good time. I went down with my daughter. We stopped by my mom's house. We started pulling down some Christmas shit, and she was busting my balls. She wanted me to stay like 2 hours. I'm like, Mom, on the way to the game. Like the game, she lives 15 minutes. So Natalie got to hang out with her grandmother for a little bit, which was special to me. They don't see each other as much as we should. So we're hanging out with my mom there and headed over the game. And my daughter's really into, like, she has the Rutgers thing on. She follows him on Instagram. She knows who Kyle Manunga is. And she's going back and forth. So we went there. It was a little chilly. It was cold. It got definitely cold at the game. And I tell you, I'm going to ask you this as a football fan. As a Cowboy fan, I don't even know if you can relate to this. I'm hard on our quarterback. Okay.
All right.
But it's not, and I've been banned from one site, the Rutgers Roundtable on Facebook. I'm going to tell you why. I don't know if I got anyway.
Hey, Rutgers Roundtable. He's royalty in Rutgers. Let him back. Enough of this shit.
Okay, hang on a second. When you have a starting quarterback at any level, right? NFL, Arena League, doesn't matter.
Sure.
You have a backup. And, it depends. Sometimes you get a wily old veteran. The guy's been in the league 13 years, played for 9 coaches. He's a guy who can come in there if somebody gets hurt. Or also a backup, I believe, job is to also run the scout team, all these different things. But also, when you're absolutely doing nothing for 2.5 hours on offense, and you are struggling, and your quarterback is throwing 8 feet over tight end's head, throwing balls to Jimmy Hoffa in the dirt, just overall passing a mess, and you're down by 18 against a team you could beat. In the third quarter, on the last game of the season, you have to go to your backup quarterback. Shano hasn't done it. So my argument is, you got to get this kid out of the game. Let him watch a couple of series. Sometimes you see different things from the sideline. I can't think of a better scenario for Gavin Wimsatt to come out of that game than on Saturday. He was not playing well. I know he knows the playbook and he's a game manager. Who cares about that stuff? We were down by 18 last game of the season. Get the kid out of there. You could ruin a kid.
So my opinion with that is it wouldn't work in the NFL for the sole purpose of money, right? So, like, that's why no matter what, Dak Prescott could be having the worst game of his life, and he's making $40 million a year. You're not taking him out. Nobody's taking him out. College, different story. I think they very well could have taken out Wimsatt and went to the well and figured out, who do we got behind us just in case, God forbid, something happens to Wimsatt next year because, he's going to have 15 years of fucking eligibility over there. Right. So it's like, let's find out what we got. I think that's more likely to happen in college than it is pros, or when there's a rookie or somebody on their rookie deal, a la New England Patriots right now. Mac Jones is stinking up the place. Bill Belichick's like, the fucking hell with this. They put Bailey Zappi in there. They rotate him in and out. You know what I mean?
Dak Prescott's a bad example because he's been in the league a while and he makes big money. But if you're a poor man's Dak, if you're a Daniel Jones and you're 3 for 23 with 2 picks and you're down by 21,
Zach Wilson, right? He was pulled 4 games too late. You know,
right? I agree. I'm not saying
because Robert Saleh has this either A, he's banging his mother, or B, it's like you figure out, or you figure out the fact that, like, all right, the GM said we drafted this fucking kid that early. We got to see it out the whole way, and it's like you ruined your season because you held on to him so long. So for Rutgers to wait to the very last game of the year, knowing that the next time they take the field is a bowl game, there would be nothing wrong with them benching him in that game against Maryland and saying, hey, you got the ball in that bowl game. Go get it.
He's still QB1. And I know they have here's another thing. People are like, oh, eligibility. Not true. Evan Simon's probably going to transfer. He's the backup. Played a lot last year. Played this year against Ohio State. Wimsatt got his bell rung. Simon came in the game, 2 passes, touchdown, bang.
Right.
And he brought Wimsatt in the next series. That was another thing. And Wimsatt wasn't having a good game that game.
You tell me how the acquisition of Wimsatt, it happened through the portal, right? Like, we got this kid. Like,
Wimsatt came as he left school early. Remember that? He left after his junior year.
Right, high school, right?
Yeah,
so
high school.
He was like eating lunch with his fucking buddies, and they're like, "Hey, by the way, come play at Rutgers." So for me, that's why I think when Shiano sees a guy like Wimsatt, it's like, we made this kid leave school early. We can't dog him like that. You know what I
No,
mean?
but
And that's unfortunate for me and you. The fans on the sidelines are saying like, "What are we doing here? Take him out." But
I'm not saying take him out and cut him and release him. I'm just saying, my God. Anyway, I got banned from the Scarlet Knights Roundtable for all I wanted to do was get a discussion whether C. Vivian Stringer's name should be on the Rutgers basketball court. Hall of Fame coach, I get it. She took 3 teams to the Final Four. I get all that. She coached for 35 years. She also held our program a little hostage by not coaching the last 4 years and still being under contract. We had, for 4 years, our program, nobody was talking. I don't, if she had health concerns, it was like, then let her step down, resign. Anyway, I think she was taking us for the money at the end. I could be wrong. And she has her name plastered all over the court. And I'm like, she had success here, but like she was here a long time. They had 1 or 2 really good seasons, but I don't think she deserves to be on the court. I called 4 different varsity basketball players for Rutgers that I know of, 4 of them. And I said, do you think C. Vivian Stringer deserves it? And they all said, absolutely not. And it's all over the court. Like you even see that more than you do Jersey Mike's Arena. Anyway, they banned me for that because I was a racist. I'm like, nothing to do with that. I'm not that. What are you talking about? And then the guy actually yelled at me like, but we're going to bring you back November 30th. If you mark out Gavin Wimsatt on that site, they kill you. Now, I admit I was a little hard on Wimsatt. The Rutgers football page on Facebook, definitely a couple of people like, hey, Jimmy, you're being a little hard on the kid. I'm like, I'm not being hard on the kid. It's more about the coaching staff. Get him out of there because I think you can ruin a player if you leave him in too long. Anyway,
100%.
But Rutgers finished, they were 6-2. They finished 6-6. They're going to a bowl game, the minimum bowl. Some teams are going at 5-7 this year. Are they better? Absolutely. It's just like even Rutgers, even when we have that first, we're better season, do we have to go 6-2 and then go 6-6? We haven't won since Halloween. It's past Thanksgiving now.
It would be better if these schedules are a little bit more spread out.
Well, we got a bad schedule there with the big 3. But
right.
Yeah, Maryland. Maryland smoked us, regardless of what the score was.
Would you rather? I ask you as a Rutgers fan, would you rather open up against Michigan or Ohio State to kick off your season, or would you rather go on a roll like you've been the last couple seasons where they've just steamrolled teams like fucking the team from Philly, the Temple or shit, like, you know what I mean? Like, would you rather that, or would you rather like go in and get tested first and then?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. That's a question. It's a great question. That's a question I think you have to ask the head coach each season. Like sometimes the head coach might say, "Oh, I think we're going to be better in November," or they say, "You know what? We better get him right now. Our backup stink. Guys get hurt." I don't know. But here's the weird thing about the Maryland game, though. We played Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State, 3 top 15 teams in the country. Mm-hmm. We played them better than we did Maryland on Saturday. I find that inexcusable. All those other games were 7-point games in the fourth quarter. I don't care what football game you're watching. If you're the best team ever to play football and you're only up by 7 at the start of the fourth quarter, something's going on there. Okay. I mean, we've been down 35-0 against Ohio State over the years, but not this year. Yet Maryland just drove up and down the field like they were just having their day. Anyway, enough about Rutgers. They pissed me off. But I had fun with my daughter, and we stayed to the bitter end. She made me stay. Actually, that dead time, the last 6 minutes, we went down to the 3rd row, sitting behind the players. I got a kick out of my daughter. Was like, Dad, I follow him on Instagram, and look how big that guy is, and all the different stuff. And I thought the guys on the sidelines weren't pissed off enough. That's why I can't sit close. It's all family members there. And I see one guy was like dancing to the music. I'm like, there's a minute and a half to go. You're down by 18 against Maryland, and you're dancing to like the Dr. Dre song coming out of the speakers. Are you kidding me?
Dude, I don't even like these certain teams. Like I was watching the Black Friday Jets Dolphins game, and the Dolphins are just smoking them. And Tyler Conklin catches a first down, gets up, first down. I'm like,
What are you doing? I don't get it. I don't get it.
5 fucking points. What are we doing?
No, you know what it is? Does anybody like that? Like, does anybody? I want to hear someone say, "No, Jimmy." Like maybe a 22-year-old kid's like, "No, Jimmy. You know what's cool about the NFL? When you're losing like by 45 points, and a guy gets a first down on a wheel route, man, I love when they jump up and down. And then, how about when they get an interception down by 40 and they run it all? They go out of bounds, but then they run all the way back to the end zone to do this dance that they set up. What are we on? TikTok Nation?
100%. 100%.
It's awful. Anyway, getting to my Giants. And ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Palumbo prediction is still in play. Tommy DeVito getting involved. Now, look, Tommy DeVito had like an Aikman game, 17 for 25, 191 yards, a TD. He used to do that all the time. Yeah, how many times was Aikman? You remember he used to have games like that? Of course, the Cowboys won like 38-3, but Aikman would just casually throw a few balls, hand the ball off, and get out of it.
I couldn't believe I was watching YouTube TV yesterday, and I have like the quad thing going on. So I got three games going plus the red zone in the right corner. And when the red zone was showing the Giant game, it was simultaneous Giant. I said to my buddy Greg, who was sitting next to me, I said, you know what's the worst part about watching the Giants-Patriots game? Is when they have it on 2 fucking screens.
Right, that's brutal. I get you on that. My luck, I'll sign up for that. I'll sign up for YouTube, and it'll be like every square will be the Cowboy game. Listen, I still think listen, I'm so wrong about a lot of this is tongue in cheek. All I know is when he rolls out and throws a ball, you know what's nice to see a Giant quarterback throw the ball downfield, like over the middle, down the sideline. I think he has I know he has a stronger arm than Daniel Jones. I think Dable likes this kid. You know what I love about him? He stays in the pocket, and everybody's like, "Oh, you can't stay in the pocket." I'm like, "Oh, really?" There's that guy in the Patriots used to stay in the pocket. Oh, Aikman used to stay in the pocket.
Don't start.
Let's name all the great quarterbacks who stay in the pocket and throw. Okay,
but also don't start like Tommy DeVito sits back there like a young Tom Brady.
No. But I'm not comparing DeVito to those guys. What I'm saying is, stay in the pocket. You don't have to roll out. You know what happens when you roll out? Like week 9 rolls out, he's knocked out of bounds, getting up slowly. Season over. Okay,
Lamar
although he did get belted back there, which is funny. I also listen. Hey, Belichick.
It's over.
It's over, buddy. Well, you got to go. He looks cold. He looks tired. He looks like, where's his wife? Does he have kids? Like his kid went to Rutgers. Of course, that's why. His kid went to
defensive coordinator. The guy looks like he's on coke the entire time.
Yeah, shouldn't he go up to him and say, Dad, we got to get out of here. It's cold. Like he looks old, and he also looks like, where's Carl Banks? He looks like he wants to know where the 86 job. He's been coaching since the 80s. It's 2023. I'm sorry, Belichick. And I'm not going to get into this Brady Belichick thing. It's not what I'm saying. Belichick is an awesome NFL head coach, maybe the best head coach of all time, and certainly best coach in the NFL of all time with his assistant work. It's 2023. Your team stinks. Kraft looks like Burl Ives. You guys look old. It's over. And when you don't beat the Giants, and they missed a 35-yard field goal, what a shitty way for the Giants. It was great. But again, the other thing is, here's something about statistics. Like, I don't think Thibodeau, they say Thibodeau's having like a great season on film. Okay, but I watched the game from the couch. I'm like, all right. But you know what's weird? He's 1 sack shy of Micah Parsons. That blows me away. I feel like Parsons has 4 sacks a game.
Micah Parsons.
I say Micah.
I know, it's terrible.
That's great.
Micah Parsons.
Okay, listen. Micah Parsons, he's a Cowboy. He has 1 less sack. Like, it just goes to show you that I don't know. It's just a weird thing. But everybody says he does. I read different articles like Thibodeau, another strong game, and I'm like, I didn't hear his name. Like, I guess I'm so used to Lawrence Taylor. Where like, if someone said, "Oh, Lawrence Taylor had a good game," that meant A, the Giants won. B, all you saw is 56 swiping at the quarterback. Thibodeau, I don't know, but he's got 10.5 sacks.
You go all the way back to Taylor, like, but I'm recency kind of guy. Like, the Giants defense was dominant every week. You would hear guys' names like Antonio Pierce or Justin Tuck or OCU Manura or guys like that. You would hear it every week. So the fact that we don't hear Thibodeau's name every week, I don't think necessarily. It's weird. Defensive line stats are weird, man.
It's weird, no doubt.
You don't have to consider.
He's the top in sacks. He's number 6 in the league. It's crazy.
For me, I don't even look at sack numbers anymore.
It's pressure. It's pressure, hurries, and all that.
Yeah, dude. So Thibodeau is having a good year. You know what I mean? So
I guess
build around him, but he's not.
Yeah,
He's not Justin Tuck yet. He's not Osi Umenyiora.
he's not. He's not Micah Parsons either. But I'm just saying,
Michael Strahan either.
it just goes to show you stats are funny. But all right, speaking of my shitty Giants, it's time to do. Now I call it a moment with Steve. What do you call it, Dave?
I call it Roman's rundown.
Okay, I met this jerk off in Austin, Texas. He came on last week, and we're gonna bring him on right now to discuss whatever the hell he wants.
How about that?
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
What's going on, Jimmy? How are you?
Steve Roman.
Dave, what's up?
Steve Roman here, getting involved from Long Island. All right, what's going on, man? How you doing? How was your weekend?
Good. Everything was good. Wanted to bring up real quick, Turducken. Has anybody tried a Turducken?
I never have.
You fucking losers. You disgusting
Wait,
mutants.
also
You forgot about mentioning Landon Collins, another good ball player week after week that was mentioned. Good giant ball player. And also I wanted to jump in. I can't figure out when they were talking about Thibodeau and his successes this year. I couldn't figure it out. I know Jimmy's comparing it to Mickey Parkins or Parkins or his father had a blast from Seatown.
Llewellyn Parsons? You mean
Jimmy
Llewellyn
was on
Parsons?
his patch. The patch went to his head. He was looking for a helicopter with a cowboy hat, and Mickey Parsons came down. So let's at least get it right if we're going to make an analogy with a great player.
I have a question there, Steve. Did you get your logo blown up and put it behind you? Is that a thing?
I did, bro.
Wow. Look at this guy.
I did.
I
figured, Jimmy, this would be it. I figured
Backwards.
as soon as Jimmy saw that, based on the opening, Steve, you piece of shit, thanks for coming out, and we'll never see you again.
It's back. I mean, it's backwards, but whatever.
First of all, Steve, the fact that you opened up the show, you opened up the show as if like with the turducken. Clearly, if you look at the three heads across the screen right now, we were on Jeopardy and someone said, which guy here has had a turducken? That's not your first day at the rodeo right there. But
I do want to tell you guys, honestly, absolutely outrageous. I highly recommend it. I got a Cajun style stuffed turducken. I would definitely try it next year. If we're together, which we won't be, I'll send you guys one. You could split it and then run a show.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about this is that like when people are like, "Oh, try it next year," people forget. Like, I understand turkey is the delicacy for Thanksgiving. He's gonna go kill his dog now.
Hey, Steve, don't. Have
you ever had bad news when the dog wants out?
Have you ever had like cat dogucking? You're not gonna eat your cat dog.
Listen, that was in Austin. We didn't even discuss that. I had the boar's head ribs out there.
Oh wow,
they were very, very good. But back to the turducken, right? Dave, you don't have to be at this part of the year. You could wait a few weeks.
Like I told my stepmom, I was like, you don't understand how good the stuffing was 2 days later. Like you have no idea how good it was. She goes, oh, okay, I'll just make it for you. And I was like, yeah, you can have stuffing anytime. Like it doesn't
you're not locked into that period. So true. Such a good point.
All I know is stovetop stuffing in the box covers the spread every time.
Jimmy, this is a serious conversation here.
Yes, it is.
Because the looks I would get when I said that.
Jimmy probably puts the patch on the stuffing to enhance it. I mean, you cannot make the stuffing from a stovetop box. It doesn't work.
No, there's all these Italian styles and all these styles. I get it, but stovetop is 12-4 every year with 11 rings. The stove. You know what? It should be. You know what? Tom Brady should sponsor stovetop.
I got crushed saying that stovetop was a good thing. Same thing with, and this I might get completely brutalized here. Back in my day, when I was a kid and my mom just didn't want to cook, like she cooked, but like it was always prepped, like stovetop stuffing, Idaho mashed potatoes.
Forget about it. The best.
The flakes?
The best.
Amazing. Not even the flakes. It was I think it was a powder. But
my cousin used to use the Ore-Ida potato box. It's the best. First of all, I believe if you eat something every day, it's no good. Like Steve, I know you eat a lot every day, but bottom line is this: anytime you eat, the best foods are the ones that I would advertise it as There is nothing organic in here. There is nothing healthy in here. That's the good stuff. As long as you don't eat it every day. What do we have stuffing once a year, for Christ's sake? And you come in there, you get the stovetop in the box, you add a little water, mix it up. Oh, it's the best. You can't be. It's like Duncan Hines Day and shit.
I thought I was alone. That's great.
No
Wow,
way.
that's like Dainty Moore beef stew. The stuff in a can.
It's like the steak sandwich. The
Right.
Absolutely no meat in this product.
No,
Yes,
they're now
I
making
want
them
it.
Angus steakums. Angus who? I was like, wow, that's
Whenever you're in White Castle, sometimes you'll see there's always a little sign in the corner like, we use 100% USRDAV. No, the sign should say we use 100%. We don't know what this is, but enjoy it. It's delicious.
Yeah.
So anyway, what did you think of the Giant game?
It's really absolutely terrible. I mean, you look at the whole entire breakdown of the offense and the defense even working together. Now, we spoke last week about Wink Martindale and D-Ball and a lot of the antics going around on the sidelines, player bantering one another live during the games. Now, there was an article that came out in the Post. I don't know if you guys saw it, that Wink Martindale and D-Ball are not getting along at all.
Right.
Yeah, but did you see Dayball's comment to that?
They made up.
Yeah, they made it. He gave him the game ball.
Not even that. He said the only disagreement or only argument that those two have are who gets the last slice of pizza. So like he made a joke of it, and like he's kind of
I got an interesting.
What else is he gonna do?
What else is he gonna do?
The only thing is, look, let's make fun. We're both fat. We're fighting over the last slice of pizza. Maybe they'll throw us $1 million for Papa John's. Shaq will bring them in for.
I got an interesting scenario. What do you guys think? You know, Dable is the only team he's really tight with. Is really the Patriots. He was there a long time as assistant. He's tight with Kraft. He's tight with Belichick. He's tight with that whole organization. You think it's possible if, say, Belichick retires this year or maybe next year, that Dable just, walks into John Mayer's office and says, "Hey, man, Kraft called. Give him a draft pick. I'm going to go." I could totally see him coaching the Patriots, leaving the Giants. I could.
Can I ask you a question? How many people other than Bill Belichick have come out of that organization to coach in the NFL and had success?
They all suck.
There's not one coach that we could go through the list, right? Judge, right? New England product, absolutely awful. D-Ball, another product.
By the way, Judge is assistant head coach, by the way.
But Dayball, his success comes from Buffalo right now. He was a hell of an offensive coordinator over there with Josh Allen and them. So there was success there. The only one I could say is a multi-time failure is Josh McDaniels trying to head coach anywhere else. He's
really bad.
Yeah,
I mean, you look, but overall, the percentage of coaches that you look at Belichick's kid on the sideline with the mullet. His manner, he watches his father spit, he spits. I mean, you talk about a kid that he goes like this with his hands on. He's doing the same thing. The players want nothing to do with Belichick's kid, or I think Belichick anymore. He's run his run. He should have left with Brady, taken his millions and everything else, found out the number to Kraft's whore over there in Florida, figured out how he could get in and out for a good time. And leave. I don't know what Belichick's wife looks like. His son could be his wife for all I know. I don't know. It's a weird looking kid.
Well, all right, Steve-O. Our Giants stink. Our Knicks.
How about that Knick game, fellas? Great comeback against the Heat.
And of course last night they got beat at the buzzer. Although Brunson's game tying almost went in. Did you see that?
Yeah, he looked good the last couple nights. Is there any truth, guys, quickly to Jimmy Butler being Michael Jordan's illegitimate son? Is there any fact? Come on, you didn't hear it because
I did not hear this.
You didn't hear this, Jimmy?
Can you help me out at all, Dave, on this?
It's a hell of a conspiracy theory that's been going around the world and around the interwebs the last couple of years. I mean, look, here's the thing. Look at their pictures, first of all. They're very similar looking. Also, the fact that he talks about his dad walking out on him at birth and never to be like, so apparently it's only coming to fruition now because there might have been an agreement between Jimmy Butler's mother and Michael Jordan that's like expired, and now she can come out and like, hey, by the way, so it's, I don't know, it was a funny thing for a little while. It caught steam for a little while. But is there legitimacy? I say there's a percentage. I don't know what percentage, but I think there's some kind of validity to it, right? I mean,
I think
why
it's
not?
like
I
you
have
said,
no
if
idea.
you put all his kids together, who actually his first wife, and then you look at his illegitimate son, it's like Dave said, they look exactly alike. Their game is similar. Their mannerisms are similar. You look now, you don't know if you're being sucked into a cult, and you're like, oh my God, is this real?
Is Jimmy Butler out of the league now?
No.
Are
You
Come on.
kidding me? This guy
Right.
lit it up last year in the playoffs.
Yeah, but I thought he's been playing like 10 years though, right?
Yeah, Jimmy Butler's probably in the
So
league.
10 years into your NBA career, this is coming up now.
Last 2
Sounds
years,
shitty
it's
to me.
been circulating a little bit.
I
So
don't
it's
know.
interesting. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Listen. Most NBA players are very faithful to their wives.
Well, we know this. Yes, the NFL as well. They like to take them into the elevator, a la Ray Rice, have a nice conversation, and then drag you out.
Of all, like, I think it's possible to me that, like, Michael Jordan and LeBron James should be like, I don't know, Adam and Eve. I mean, like, they should, each one of them should have about 90 kids, if you ask me. But yeah, is it possible Jordan running around the 80s there with the broads? But no, see, Butler would be how old? He's 20. This would have to be like, this was during the aging Michael Jordan days.
Yes.
Yeah. That was around the time he was sort of done with his wife, too.
Maybe some chick threw him a slider that didn't slide and, went off the pesky pole. And here comes Jimmy Butler. So I don't know. I have not read that. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know.
But maybe it's true. All right, the Knicks, of course, I get all excited. Then they lose at the buzzer. Tough game. And that's it. All right, Steve, happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you next week.
Same to you guys. I did want to say real quick, Dave has some real life advice he was looking for at the end of the show. I don't know. He was asking you, Jimmy, for some real life advice. I would like to hear this as Dave is.
Well, you know what? You could stay on right now because what we're going to do now, of course, I know, especially we did George Brett, and he had trouble with his cornhole in the World Series in 1980. We are at cornholelevel.com. That's right. Cornholelevel.com. Now, kids scoring at home, I got my cornhole level right here at Shea. You hook it right on your cornhole, and you get the board balanced right. It's got a little leveler in the middle. You figure it out, and it gets your cornhole level. It's perfect gift for the holidays. Start now. Order them now. They're $19.95, 20% off the entire order if you type in JP Show, the code. These things work on all cornhole boards. They're awesome. Steve, you don't look like the kind of guy who appreciates a bent cornhole. Go check these things out. Cornholelevel.com. My buddy Mike Caprio. Check them out. They're awesome. And, of course, cornholelevel.com sponsors the most important list, better than Letterman's Top 10, is the Jimmy Palumbo Stinks list. And you know what? For some reason, this stinks list is just a little odd to me because I have the Miami Dolphins as good. The Buffalo Bills is average. The Jets stink. The Patriots really stink. I have the Baltimore Ravens. Hey, 9-3 is 9-3 as being very good here at Shea. Steelers average. Cleveland Browns average. The Bengals stink. Jacksonville Jaguars. I thought about giving them the VG, but I'm leaving them at good for another week. The Colts average, Texans average, and the Titans, they stink. I'm going to keep the Kansas City Chiefs at good. I'm going to upgrade the Broncos to good now. Everybody was ripping on that head coach. No one's crickets now. And, of course, the Raiders and Chargers stink. We got the NFC East. Now, I know Dave has been waiting to see where am I going to put his beloved Dallas Cowboys. And I have the Philadelphia. We just never, ever lose. They're still very good at 10-1. And I have decided to put the Dallas Cowboys in the VG list by their performance lately. I still think the Cowboys, even though I can't stand them, they got talent on offense at wide receiver. And in playoff games, wide receivers are critical. Way more important than a running back. They're just open on every play. Lamb and the other guy, Combs, whoever his name is. Now, in bigger news, because the Giants have a bye this week, I have decided, because of that awesome Tommy DeVito, And the Giants offense, they lit it up with a 10-7 win. I am putting the Giants at average at 4-8. Here's why. With the bye week, that's 2 weeks of average, and I'm sure it'll come crashing down. But I know Dave all of a sudden has been purchasing Giant shirts, Giant hats. And why? Because the Giants play the Philadelphia Eagles twice in 4 weeks. So you will be rooting for the Giants. I'm sure you're going to go to the games. You got to wear a DeVito shirt. So the Giants are average, but that's a little bit of a asterisk there. And Commanders stink. Detroit Lions, I still have them at good. I don't know. Vikings average. Packers average. I thought about bringing them back to stinks, but I didn't. Chicago Bears stink. The whole NFC South, Falcons, Saints, Buccaneers, Panthers, that whole division, that's got to be the worst. They all stink. NFC West, 49ers, very good. Seahawks, average. Rams stink, and the Arizona Cardinals have always stunk. So it's 14 stinks, 9 average, 5 goods, and 4 very goods, which is an all-time high. We'll see how this shapes out. That's it, my NFL Stinks list, sponsored by CornholeLevel.com. All right. Of course, this week, I took my Christmas stuff down. Now, Dave, I guess I'll leave you on here, Steve, because only 8 people are tuning in here. How are Dolphins not as good as the Cowboys? Good question, but too many weird games with the Dolphins. I'll check back in with the Dolphins again. Don't worry about that. My buddy Mike Shecky Lawler over there. I took the Christmas stuff down. Okay. Now, Dave, I know you go through this with the kids, bringing the Christmas stuff down. The kids are running around. They love the whole thing. Now, when my daughter was 2, now I don't know if you did this, I went out and bought a shitty train set. One of those big ones. It's called a G-gauge track. Cheap. It probably cost me $35. I put it together at a buddy's house just to see if I knew how to do it. All plastic with a little battery-operated train going around. And in the morning, after my daughter went to bed, I set it up in the morning. So when she came down the steps, it was a Norman Rockwell moment. I had the train going around with the woo-hoo, all aboard, the whole thing. This is a $5 train set. So every year I set it up. And, my ex used to hate it. I was like, no, this is a ritual now we put up. Now, listen, this train set's a little long in the tooth. There's no doubt about it, right? So now I try to set it up, but I'm in a new condo now. And the train track is not quite, the area is not really big enough for the track. And I'm like, what am I going to do? So I spent 2 hours on the phone. Have you ever been on a phone with a hobby shop, okay, that specializes in those like awesome train sets? And you're on the line saying, do you sell shitty train tracks, plastic on a set that was bought 13 years ago for $49.99 at Walmart in a smaller circle? I had guys calling me up saying you can't do it again, go back and forth. So what did I do? I ordered a shitty train set for $30 from Walmart to be delivered on Saturday. And if it fits the train, we got a new train. It's going to be smaller. That's what I did. I had the Bing Crosby music going on because whenever my dad put the Bing Crosby albums out, he brought them down in a box. That meant Christmas time. So Christmas started for me on Friday with all that. I want to give a shout out to that story is only funny to me, but it's okay. I want to give a shout out to my sister on Thanksgiving. She truly broke her ass. Everything was, you don't realize she had family coming over. She actually worked during the week, and she had the bird, she had the stuffing, she had all the traditional Thanksgiving. I think for all you guineas out there, it's one day, okay? One day. You just have to play like you're from Iowa. That's all. One day. You can have galamad, pinot nuts, all this different stuff all week long, and scungil and all this, the Schviadels and Bastachots. But one day, you just have the tradition. It's an American holiday. Serve the American food. No one needs to have all this Italian shit, like 7 fish kind of crap before. Just serve the regular shit and watch football and drink beer and get drunk. That's what this holiday is. You give thanks. You have turkey, stovetop box stuffing for $3. Got it. And we're tired of anyone. And that's what you do. My sister did a great job, though. She did make her homemade stuffing, which was delicious, which was a recipe from my brother-in-law's passed away brother, which is cool. But listen, nothing's better than going to your sister's house by yourself and with your nephews drinking and ball breaking on every single move your sister makes. That's the greatest. That to me was the real sporting event. I just was busting her balls the whole time. But my sister did break her ass. And big shout out to my nephew Jimbo, who just spends thousands on Nick tickets because he thinks he's loaded now. He'll be broke someday, and I'll be abusing him when that happens. All I want is for my nephews to get fat. I'm going to live long enough that an aging nephew will come in with a little belly on him, maybe 2 kids, fat bastard, losing his hair. I remember all those days. But also at the Rutgers game, we cannot forget Janine Michaud getting involved here at the game. You took that picture, Jay-Bird, that I posted on Facebook of me and Natalie. First of all, the fact that I call her Jay-Bird from John Sterling, calling Jay Johnstone, that might be the second funniest thing I've ever said on the show. All I got to do is say Jay-Bird and she turns around. I don't know if anybody calls her Jay-Bird, but I do. Janine. But anyway, of course, she is the co-owner of Absolute Eyewear, 42 Main Street, Woodbridge, New Jersey, 732-326.
Eyes.
Look at Dave Sturchio, right? A perfect bounce pass, lays it up and in. Steve's looking at me like I'm an oil painting. It's owned by Craig and Janine Michaud. Of course, she added all her nephews at the game as well. It's family owned. Go check out this place. They're licensed opticians. When you leave there, you don't feel like a jerk off. They'll take care of you. They make sure everything fits. They know everything is going on. It's awesome. It's a local place down by the train station in Woodbridge, New Jersey. They got everything, including Ray-Ban, Coach, Ralph Lauren, Steve's dogs barking, Jimmy Choo, Silhouette, Michael Kors Light, Vogue, Maui Jim, Costa Del Mar, and Charles Oakley shops there with his kids. Go check it out. It's the greatest place. $100 off a complete pair of glasses. They got progressives going on, which Craig wants me to get progressives now. So I'll be doing all kinds of. I thought he wanted to have like Progresso soup or something. I was ready to eat soup. And no, progressive glasses. I'm like, all right. So check them out. They're like in the business for 20 years. They're awesome. They're open 5 days a week. Now, Dave, why are they, what day are they closed, Dave?
Wednesdays and Sundays.
Right. Why are they closed Wednesdays, Dave?
Because you guys, get together and lose a bunch of games of softball.
Yeah. And on Sunday, why are they?
That's an obvious one. They're closed on Sunday so you can watch the Italian hero himself, Tommy DeVito.
That's it. And I know Jay-Bird loves DeVito. So that's it. Absolute Eyewear getting involved now on a cool thing. And we'll get to Dave's.
Janine's saying you're getting your glasses received shortly. Huh? Look at that.
I'm making you a pair now. Look at that. I'm getting a little Christmas gift from Jay-Bird for $3. In and out. I'm actually leaving right after this show. That's why we're doing. By the way, we're doing the show on Mondays because I booked a commercial. I can't really say the name of the commercial yet. I want to make sure it's shot first to find out more about it. But I think if this thing turns out the way I think it might, I'm about to make a bold statement, Dave. This might be my top 5 funniest thing I've ever done in my life. I can't explain it. It just might be something that the material you will have, and you'll be able to run Chop Sports Media for another 15 years if this thing goes the way I think it is. It'll be part of the show. I have no doubt about it. We'll see though. I don't know. I don't want to count my chickens, but I'm thrilled to death. It's bookings are hard. I was telling my daughter the other day, like every time Daddy books something, it's to be cherished. I've been acting now for 34 years, and even doing this stupid show. When I get a new sponsor, it's all. And I've told you, Dave, this like any booking. I know sometimes you do those wrestling things or those crazy events, and you're like, oh shit, I got to go down. I'm like, Dave, somebody asked you to do something for money. Mm-hmm. In something that you love to do. I don't care if they pay you $4. You got it. It's like they're hard to book. There's other talented people out there, except for what Steve does. That's a dime a dozen. I can get 50 guys in here to do what you do, Steve. But that's not true. I love you, Steve. But I got this commercial shooting in Philly. Should be fun. And of course, Pine Tar Bar and Grill, 121 South Main Street, Forked River, New Jersey, 609-489-4286. Big Steeler fan. Go down there, talk to Tommy Plinio. It is the best sports bar in New Jersey. I've been there. It's awesome. We're probably going to go for the playoffs again, even though, well, the Giants are going to definitely 9-8. They're going to back in. And also, Lisa Ruane, therapy, 201-725-1251. If you're feeling down and out, you don't feel so good, you got some issues at home, please give her a call. She'll help you, guide you, do what you got to do. And she's good people. She knows what's going on. Now, Dave, you said that you had some advice that you needed.
Yeah. So
let's hear this.
This applies to both of you, I guess. A father, younger kids who are now into their teens or getting to the teens, right? So clearly, next week, Steve, be sure to check back with the show because you will be co-hosting. I will not be around. The reason why I won't be around is because on Friday, as Jimmy would say, Friday night around 7:00 p.m., we're getting in the family truckster and we are driving to Disney World.
Oh, dude, they got planes now that fly to Orlando.
Ooh. You know what's with a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. What am I getting myself into, and how?
Okay, well,
oh my God!
First of all, you are such not a part of this because your wife's going to have all kinds of little juice boxes and candy and fruits and all kinds. You're nothing but a driving whore. That's all you're going to do is drive. That's all you're going to do. But I got to tell you, if you fly though, now we're saying fly, right?
We've done the fly thing. We've done the fly.
I know, but you know what? Flying could backfire on it because flying is the only. It's a 4-hour experience. You know, you got a flight, you got to get there. But in that 4 hours can be a playoff game for kids. Like on the plane, you're like, Miles just wants to talk it over on the flight. Your ears hurt. Like, your daughter probably be okay. So that could be the worst 4 hours of your life. Whereas when you drive, the kids they've not realized the first, 6 hours that you're going to be, now it's just you, your wife, and the 2 kids. Or you got,
So again, this also goes behind the 7 p.m. departure. Hopefully the kids sleep through the night as we're driving. And
you're driving straight through?
Straight through, yeah. I mean, it's 7 p.m. We'll probably get there around 1 o'clock the next day.
Is that how
20 hours, right?
Yeah, it's like 18 to 20 hours. If I'm driving, it's 18. If she's driving, it's 24.
That's a long run. Well, listen, first of all, you got to go down to Disney.
We've done it already. We've done it already.
I know you have. But now Miles is Miles could be a problem. Listen, I love that little bastard, little linebacker, but he could be a problem for you because your daughter's going to get caught up in all the. But Miles is going to buy into it for about about an hour and a half once you're there inside the. They almost he's little kids, 2-year-olds sometimes just want to talk it over. They need to teach. By the way, do not blow a timeout early when you got to. Tell your wife, no, hold the timeouts because you're going to need like 8 of them with a minute to go. Where Miles just wants going to become ornery. He wants to talk it over. He wants to go check out the goldfish back at the shitty hotel they have in the pond and all that stuff. What hotel you staying at?
Oh, dude, I don't know. She booked everything.
You do nothing. You just
I do nothing.
You know what she's going to say to you? I could have called you Uber to take us down like that. That's all. Yeah. And you're taking that big truck that gets 4 miles to the gallon.
Yeah, we're taking the new Chevy Traverse. It's not bad, actually.
No, but it's not a pickup truck though.
No. It's a massive SUV with a 3rd row, and we got room. Trust me, there's room. I just
Okay, and first of all, Janine just came in. Don't get too excited when you see the "Welcome to Florida" sign. Okay, I did that once. I drove down there, and we were in my frat. We all jumped out of the car. We were like, "Yay!" I didn't know where the hell we were going. We're going to Fort Lauderdale.
Another 5 hours,
and I realized, oh my God, technically we're in Delaware, according to me.
This is hilarious. I could just imagine myself. We made it. No. Keep driving for another 4 or 5 hours.
But your kids may fall asleep probably by 9 o'clock, 2 hours in, right?
Sure. And honestly, I'm hoping they're spent by the time we're gonna load up on dinner. You know what I mean? Get them real tired and stuffed, and then hopefully.
What time do they wake up in the morning? 6 a.m., 7 a.m.
6:37. Sometimes later than that if we don't bother them. But again, this is the car. This isn't the bed. You know what I mean? So it's a whole other ball game.
I can't wait. I want a full.
The South Carolina signs Pedro says,
Yeah.
the fireworks all going through South
Just
Carolina.
you know what? You have to stop and get fireworks just for say you did it. Throw them in the back. Your wife will be
we
yelling
wanted
at
to do the south of the border thing, but by the time we get there, I think it's gonna be like 3 a.m, so it ain't nothing gonna be open. So
Nah.
Well, listen.
I think the goal is a Waffle House at the very least.
Oh, Waffle House.
Yeah.
Your kids will love that. Your kids will love the Waffle House. Yeah, listen, the bottom line is, first of all, I feel bad for your kids. I actually feel bad for me because now I got to do this show with Steve next week. But I will do that with you, Steve. And I guess I'll be, you're going to be a backup quarterback. You're going to be like 2 for 7 for about 8 yards as Jimmy Palumbo is called on.
The pressure's getting to him here.
He's got 27 carries, 181 yards. You're going to have a blast, man. By the way, just please, I know I'm about to say something stupid. Be careful on the road, man. I know you guys are driving through the night. You guys are beat. You're working. You're white. Like, dude, you get that shitty head bob feeling. Go to a hotel, man. It's not worth it.
We're not. There's no like. The goal is to be at some kind of at our resort by like Saturday night. So if it's like, if
you feel like shit, and also though, it sucks for you is you'll probably drive the first leg, or you make your wife do that.
I'm probably gonna do the first leg because I still got the energy, and she sleeps like a fucking she's
more.
You
know what you got to just please watch, and I'm no disrespect to your wife, but like when she gets behind the wheel, it's probably gonna be 2 o'clock in the morning, right? Maybe you're driving first 6, 7, whatever, 3 in the morning, whatever the hell it is, and you're gonna want to doze off, but like
she's alone.
It's almost like that car gets quiet.
Yeah,
you can't. First, I can't sleep when she's driving because she's one of those like break happy people.
Right. Okay, but just be careful of that.
No, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to sleep.
Right now, off of 95, they got those shitty hotels now. Even if you go there for 6 hours for $110, there's an app called Hotel Tonight. Do you know about that app?
I don't know. It sounds
what it is once you get into an area and you're tired, you go on this app and you type in. Somehow find out the area code.
Love tubs, right?
And it shows you like what regular hotels that realize the night's almost over. So if we normally charge $200, we'll put it up for $90 to see if we get someone come in to check that out. Okay. But first of all, your kids are going to have a blast. Your daughter's going to have a blast. I think your son's going to want to.
Your son's too.
You're going to go to the Star Wars thing and all that?
Yeah, we'll do it all. They also have like this thing. I'm just realizing this now and being told now because remember when we went originally, Stella was 2.5 miles, was like brand new. So he doesn't know shit, and Stella was enjoying the shit out of it. And so now Stella's going to enjoy the shit out of it again, and Miles is going to be a little bit of a runt. But if I think back to when Stella was his age, she enjoyed it. You know what I mean?
First of all, Stella still buys into the mermaids are real and all that, right? Like the princesses.
She's watching right now. Why would you do that?
No, she's not.
No,
I'm just saying.
She is home a little bit under the weather, so we're also trying to battle that shit and try to get her back up to speed.
But what I'm saying is, like, when Snow White comes up to her, Stella still thinks it's Snow White.
Oh yeah.
I went at the age with my daughter, and she just her face. She got real shy. She literally, and I'm sure Stella does it with you because you're a big guy. She literally is happy to see it, but they also like crawl underneath your leg a little bit, like, Daddy, this is cool, but like, I'm gonna watch this from behind your leg and not. I don't know if I'm buying into this.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you're gonna be like, this chick's hot playing Cinderella. And then, by the way, you'll start to rate
Jasmine. Come here.
And by the end of the trip, because you see different Cinderellas and Snow Whites, you become completely like an analyst. I tell you what, that first Jasmine on Saturday night, she lit it up. But the Monday Jasmine, I don't know. They lost their weight requirements here at Shea. I don't know. She rambles inside the Miami 5. I don't know.
Jasmine's packing a little extra poundage here in the holiday season.
Yeah, there was a Cinderella there. We were eating dinner, and she kept on coming to the table. She was so hot. My sister was there too. She was so hot that I wanted to go like, hey, you can't do this. You gotta get away. I was tipping her to go away.
I tried to have a vacation
and you're just like you're dropping 27 on me right here. I was like, this girl is
dad. Is it your dad?
Like, is that your dad? I was like, oh my god. I was like,
right.
I know. I was like, but it was It's like, oh my God. I appreciate the ones that weren't that. And then you know what they do too? I guess they have all kinds of age discrimination they can't do. Some of the Cinderellas, it's like, hey, Cindy, just saying, you look like you're going 5 1/3, scattering 11 hits here. Like, maybe
Hey, Cinderella, how was Walt Disney in real life?
Did you actually eat with Walt Disney while he came to visit with his family? No, there's some veterans and entertainers in there. You're like, maybe, yeah. I would be so good at that job. I'd be like, I would just get baseball cards and who I thought the girl was like now. You know what I mean? I'm aging LeBron.
Carney Lansford.
There you go, Carney Lansford Day. That's what. Imagine that. They gave me a Carney Lansford card. I gotta quit now. But anyway, you're gonna have that's a rough trip though, bro. That's a rough one. You'll be all right. You know what? You know what it is? You got to do. You got to hold it against them a little bit. Like, hey guys, we're going to Disney World. If you misbehave, they'll close the park. You got to use all those BS lines. Stella's gonna. Well, she's not old enough to get all that stuff.
Smarter than the average bear, that's for sure.
I know, but Miles is going to be like, they're going to close the park? Like, no way. And Stella's going to be like having a scotch and soda with a cigarette going, Miles, don't worry about it. Just let Daddy drive.
Daddy's full of shit. It's good. It's locked up.
You'll close the park.
Cinderella works for me now.
The question I have is when you get to Epcot, how many beers are you going to have while you're walking around?
I'm drinking around the fucking world when I get over there. Dude,
even at the hotel, when you check into the hotel, Stella's going to be like, that's my father's third bourbon.
My deal with her was because she, again, she scouted it out every day. We're going to go to this park on this day and this park on this day. It's the whole plan, right? So I said, just do me a favor, leave Sunday as the leisure day, as the day.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Why did you bring this up now? This podcast is going to be another 45 minutes. You're going to Disney with your what time do the Cowboys play?
You're not even letting me finish. The Cowboys play this Thursday night. They're not even.
Oh, okay. You're good. You're good. So you don't have to watch.
I'm not saying watch the fucking things all day. I'm saying we got a week ahead that's about to be a track meet. Give Daddy a break after that.
No, you got your kids to Disney World. You don't fucking watch the NFL games when your team plays on Thursday. They got ESPN on your app, your phones. Are you kidding me? You are such a jerk off. All my fans, all 11 of them on here, totally agree with me. Take your kids to Disney World. Where's Daddy? At the hotel bar watching a Raven game? Are you
with Cinderella?
Me? Yeah,
with Cinderella.
I'm trying to kick game to Cinderella and and Snow White.
You don't need to watch these games. You just get the score. I'll text you if Philly's winning, whatever the hell's going on. Oh my God.
I'll make sure my bookie Goofy knows.
You know what? I have to get your wife's phone number. Does your wife listen to these shows? Oh my God!
She watches the clips that I make that I find funny.
Oh my God! What you're going to Disney World with your 4 and 2-year-old. These are precious moments. These are all when you're 58 years old. You're going to look back and go, I remember back in the day. Especially, I was able to watch that fucking Charger game. What are you talking about? Oh my God! That's the worst.
Fucking said anything.
You should have said you're going to be watching football in Florida. Now, listen. Take your phone out when you're at the shitty zoo with the orca and the mamu running around, and you just watch the game on your phone. You don't have to sit.
I'm not saying it's going to be an all-day extravaganza. I'm just saying, if it's supposed to be, last time I checked, in the 80s, so it's going to be nice out, and there's a fucking hotel pool.
You're checking the weather report to watch football. Oh my God, you are a complete jerk off. I love you. You're gonna have a good time, but I wish Gucci was on this call. Oh my God,
now, it's actually gonna be fucking cloudy now.
It's gonna be cloudy. Listen, I'm praying at this point. I'm rooting for rain on your day off. No, I hope it's bright and sunny, and the kids are gonna be like, Daddy, do we really have to watch this game? And then when do the Knicks play on Sunday? The Knicks Heat game on Sunday? Forget about it.
If they're in Miami, I might go to the game.
Oh my God, Orlando Magic here against the Knicks. You imagine? Where did Daddy go? Oh, he just went to the Magic game.
6 hours south to Miami.
Dude, wait a minute.
God.
Hold on. What if they're playing the Magic?
show went on long, but I'm glad it did. This is unbelievable. I can't wait. First of all, I know you're going to send pictures online and on Instagram.
I'm just checking the schedule here. See if they.
Oh my God! When did the Knicks play Sunday?
No, I was just seeing if they played the Magic. This is the playback game.
The only game you're allowed to watch is the Who plays Sunday night? That's the only game you can watch. Your kids will be shark shit by then, and you'll be hanging out. Who plays Sunday night at 8:00
Next week?
Yeah,
I don't know off the top of my head, but
that's the game you can watch.
oh, thanks.
That's it. That's it. Could you, and thank God they're not playing in Europe. You'd be like, well, honey, we got to get up at 8:30 a.m. to watch,
I'll go to Epcot, drink around the world, watch them play in Germany.
My God. Well, listen, drive safe.
Yeah, we'll do.
I got to you know what? Set the show up. You got to set the show up for me before you leave.
Oh, do I? Yeah.
I don't know how to do all that. We'll have Steve on. Steve, you'll come on at a certain point. Maybe I'll start the show by myself mocking out David. By the way, if anything funny happens, you have to report to me because
Well, here's the thing. Tuesday, I'm assuming you're going to do it normal time Tuesday at 11.
Yeah, Tuesday
right?
at 1. Tuesday at 1.
So I meant Tuesday at 1. So if there any by chance that there's a chance that I'm walking around the park, you send me the link, I'll jump in and I'll tune in.
Oh, we'll do that. We'll try to do that.
Well,
actually, you know what? I'm saying I'll try to do that. It's something you have to do.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
No, but if you could also please send me a few texts of any like funny tidbit. We'll have fun with that.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know if I score with Jasmine or Cinderella.
And Jasmine,
At least a picture.
Yeah, and maybe you know what? Actually, every Jasmine there, everybody's gonna say is Michael Jordan's kid. I will Palumbo with a quick 3, open it up, 3-0. All right, kids. I gotta go find out about this Jimmy Butler shit. That's it. Thanks for coming on, Steve. And Dave, have a good time in Florida. Please drive safe. Have fun with the kids. And that's it. I'll see you guys next week.
All right, fellas. Take care.
Special
Thank
guest.
you. Dave, safe trip. All right. We'll talk about the Tur Duncan coming up soon. All right, fellas.
You got it, Steve.
All right. Take care.